Okay. Hello, everyone. This call is being recorded, and if you do not consent to be part of this call, please drop from this call and listen to the recording later. And all the investment or all these discussions during this call are, shared in good faith. So any loss, if you have after investing, the moderators, organizers, or speakers will not be liable, or nor will the KD group. So thank you for joining.
Thank you, Shilpi. Now we have Jyoti Shankar Dotto with us. He is an experienced investment advisor, and he is going to explain some basics about investment. Go ahead, Jyoti.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan. So our last two speakers already told us a brief outline, and I'm really thankful to them. They have given so much good informations. Yeah, in Canada, the biggest two things in investment is one tax-free savings account or TFSA, and the second one is RRSP. RESP is considered also an investment if your kid is younger. If your kid is a little bit older, like he is going to be almost teenage or going to be adult, then this is not a good investment options for you. I'm not going to talk about RDSP, RIF, LIF, or RRIF, those things in this session, because those are specialized things and need to discuss more, and it's all individual sharings. I'm just giving a brief highlight so that everyone gets a normal idea about how to invest and what to invest. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is RRSP, which we all do to save tax. That's the main idea for us, to save tax. Okay, so what we save and how we save. So this is taxable, it's not without tax. So when you are taking out, it's taxable. There is a certain amount like 15,000 a year, only not taxable. If after that you are going to be, it's taxable. So imagine that you put all the money in whole your working out years, and what you are at the retirement, you are going to take out the money. You are only allowed to take 15,000 in a year. You cannot take more than that. If you want to take more than that, you have to pay taxes. And who want to pay taxes on that age? I don't think so, anyone. Okay. So again, when you are taking out the money, your CPP, Canada Pension Plan, and OS, old age benefit, those are going to be down. Number two, I'm going to say about RESP only one line. It's no tax. Okay, we know that one, but there is two type of. One is sold and one is group. So if you do by group, the fees are higher. So the administrative fees that's charged is lot higher. So my point or my advice to the person who is going to do RESP, do the solo one. You will save some lot of money on that. Second thing is TFSA. Yeah, that's the most powerful tool that government give us. Is every year almost 5,500. It started from 2009. Every year 5,500. Then in 2010, I think that's a special year. Government given 10,000 as a lump sum to put on that, and then every year is going to be 5,500. For last 3 years, it's now 6,000. They have increased 500. So there is a room. You cannot go more than that. But if you want to invest more, is there anything? Yes, there is a unlimited TFSA too, that not everybody told you. Number one. Second, where do we put that investment? As Silpi told, we usually put it in stocks, bond, ETF, share, those things. What are the merits and demerits of this one? This is definitely give you a good return if you can keep it well or for a long period. That gives you high return, no doubt of that. But there is uncertainty. you might lose the money that you put it over there. So your principal is not protected. Then what's the, if a person wants to be then protected, then what's the option? The second option is GIC. But in GIC, what happened? It's certainly giving you the protection, but your growth is limited because it gives you only the fixed percentage of that time. Sorry, the ratio. The growth is very limited on that one. So if a person going to invest, he have four, I will say a cross section of that. He have four things or four aims to be classified. Number one, definitely growth. Somebody is investing, he wants that growth. That's the main aim. Second thing, also people want it safe or not. So what is the risk factor? That's the main thing after coming up the growth. Third is tax advantage, definitely, because we are investing, we want that money to be as much as we don't need to put tax or give tax to government. That's our hard-earned money. And the third, last portion, that's, I think, basically important, because if you are particularly the bread earner for your family, then they need a protection for you. Did you think about that? If something happened to you, who will take care of your family? That's a very important point. So ideal investment, according to my view, what I suggest to my client, does have these four pillars. Should we have growth? Should we have safe, so that there will be an income protection, so that your principal, what you are putting, it will not go down. You will lose your principal. Suppose you put $10,000, if your funds does go perform well, you will not give negative returns. That's the aim for me. Third is definitely tax advantage. We want to save my client's tax. I don't want my client to be pay more taxes to the government. And the fourth, already I told you, protection to the bread earning member. Now, what happened to, just giving a simple example, what's the traditional investment that goes and what I do is different. Suppose you put $1,000 in January 2020, this year. Okay. Let's say in June, the market goes down and it's become $500. So basically you lose $500, right? And what happened if the market goes up again in 6 months? It may cover, it goes up again. Suppose it's become again $1,000. So you didn't lose any money, but what you lose? You definitely lose. You lose your time. Your investment time, you started with 1,000 and at the end of the year, again, you became at 1,000. So your money doesn't grow anything. It's come down and come up flat, never goes up. So what we do in our plan, what we do is we put 1,000. So if it is protected, this market goes down, your fund is still is 1,000. It's not go on 500. So again, when it goes going up, your fund goes suppose at 2,000. So you basically gain 1,000 in a year, and you save your time too. So the next year, when someone is putting on the traditional market, they are putting 1,000, you are putting 2,000. Get the point. Second one. So we want to get certainty and we want to get high return. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. That's need individual interaction, because I telling you, investment is depend on your personal circumstances. It's not going to be in general. Everybody have different needs. Everybody's goal is different. Everybody's circumstances is different. Everybody's risk tolerance is different. So after this meeting, everybody in this group, if they wants to talk with me, welcome them. And as I mentioned to Indro and others in this group already, I will not charge a single penny for my advices. It's your responsibility. You would love to take it, you would not love to take it. It's your personal decision. Before I end it up, I want to tell one more thing, because here we works, and I think everybody have pension plans. So on pension plans, they usually do group RRSP. So that group RRSP money, you cannot touch it until you retire. Once you retire, that group RRSP money goes to a locked-in account. It's called LIRA. So from there, you have to withdraw, like I told you earlier, that 15,000 in a whole year. So we can bypass that one too, even depending on your pension plan, what your employer is giving to you. Because when employer is putting, it's not tax deductible. The money you are withdrawing is taxable. But what happens if you do it, your contribution? So if you put your taxable money on that, when you are taking out, it will be tax-free. That option is also available. But we need to learn that. There are a lot of options that I cannot discuss right away, because that's I told you, in this investment field, these are the second disclaimer is Privacy Act. We cannot go beyond of that. So feel free to reach out me, and then we will be reaching. We can take more questions if you want. Coming back in a minute.
Okay, so thank you, Jyotida. So if we have any questions, we can ask those questions now, either for Jyotida or for Shilpi or Swanand.
I just wanted to mention that in Well Simple, we have RRSP, we have KFSC, we also have personal accounts that you don't, whatever capital income gains that you will have on those accounts, it will be taxable. But there is an option that you can even open a personal account for investment.
Okay. Sorry, Shilpi, I think I missed your one. Is there any question for me?
No. I was just sharing something.
Okay.
I would like to share something which I think will going to be important for the newcomers. So I think the apps, Shilpi said, like the World Simple and the Questrade, they do have another option called robo advisors. So normally the normal people doesn't know anything about shares or anything, right? And then if they don't have time to read all the documents and how the trade goes on, right? Then I think there is an option where robot or the AI handles all the transactions. That's one of the best option. And also you can add your stuff. I mean, based on your risk level, you can select. So yes, definitely there is a the low and high. But if you want to don't want to go to that way, like you can have a balanced fund or a low profile, low risk fund, right? So that's a robo advisor will do it for you. They will change the stuff for you. Basically, after 1 year, if they see it's not the funds you have, it's not doing pretty well, they will also change them automatically. So you don't have to do it. Just put it your money, select your range. They also help you to select your risk level based on some basic question they'll be asking you, and that way you are just putting the money and you don't have to do anything. You just shut your eyes and it open up when it goes up. So that's another option. And the other one, whenever you are actually investing in a mutual fund or anything, just check for an MER. It's called management expense ratio. So that also have an impact what you are getting a return. When you're getting the return, it also have an impact. Not when you are seeing like a minimal amount, but when it's a lump sum amount, you'll see it's like it grows day by day, and it's irrespective of whether you gained or not. They will take that money from your account. So always check that, because for example, this World Simple or Quested, they have very reasonable, or I would say less MER compared to banks. And nowadays banks are also coming up those options. I think TD started iTrade, and I think RBC also have similar things with the app. So they are also coming up into the competitions, because they want them to also give some competition on this market, because people are going for all less MERs.
That's a very good
So
point.
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And that's a very good point. Like when about Well Simple, I should have clarified that there are 2 apps. One is Well Simple Trade and one is Well Simple Invest. Invest is where you can do a own. Trade is where there is a robot and AI behind it who can manage based on your tolerance level. And MER, mostly for mutual funds, there are very high management expense ratios because those are actively managed by fund managers compared to ETFs, where the MERs are relatively less.
And regarding RESP, I would like to add one more point. In your child's lifetime, the government will grant you 7,200. That's the max. So you can invest money at. I think there is another cap over there as well. I don't remember the cap for your own investment, but there is a cap, of course. But whatever you invest, it doesn't matter to the government. So they will, based on the 20% ratio, they will max out once you get, I think, 7,200. So even though you are late, you haven't invested, you can still invest a lump sum amount. You will get back government grant. It doesn't matter how much you're investing. So if you have not done anything, you can just invest 10,000. They will give you whatever the grant you are supposed to get. So you can do that as well.
I can add a little bit on this. In case if you have missed 1 year of RESP contribution, you can actually get let's say instead of contributing to 2,500 and getting $500 grant, you can actually contribute 5,000 and get $1,000 grant. So for every year, you can actually contribute for another additional missed years of contribution for RESP.
Yeah, but that's a cap. Just to check internet, what's the cap? Because if you pay more than that, then government will tax you on that money.
Yeah, the max cap as is 50,000. I think Shubhendu.
Yeah, something like that. That sort. Yeah, I don't remember the actual number, but it should be something similar to that.
I have one question for TFSA. So you mentioned that the cap or the program started since 2009. So since I moved to Canada in 2015, will I be eligible for that cap, which started from 2009? There's very interesting reason behind this question, because I moved at the same year in 2015. His contribution room started from 2015, but my contribution room started miraculously from 2009. So something is wrong either or, but we are not getting rectified for whatever reasons. But just wanted to know.
It started when which year you landed in Canada.
Okay.
If you are in peer or if you are in citizen, it's not for work permit, especially not closed one.
Okay.
One more clarification. If you have landed in a specific year for contributing into TFSA, don't just start your TFSA contribution until you have filed your first year income taxes. It might create that you may not see that your rooms have been actually accumulated, which can lead to a lot of agony in terms of attracting penalty and everything. So technically, if you have landed any times between January till December of a year, you get the full year contribution room.
All right.
Now, if for any reason, let's say you have landed in the month of June, people are telling you, okay, TFSA is a very good investment option and you're making good amount of disposable income so that you can actually save money in the TFSA. Wait until you have done your income taxes for the next year for the CRA account, online account confirming that you have actually accumulated 6,000 contribution room for the last year. You do not lose your contribution room for TFSA any year, so it can be carried forward indefinitely. So it is always better, please avoid investing in a TFSA and more importantly in RRSP in the first year of your landing in Canada.
Definitely.
So when you
always to be double checked with CRA for get your limit, get your room first, then do the investment.
So in my CRA account, I landed here in 2015 with an open work permit, and my husband had a closed work permit. But I have a lot more, say, I think around 70,000. I had 70,000 rooms.
Which year you entered?
2015.
Cannot be. They made some mistakes probably.
Okay, so that's the problem.
You are lucky to get that room. It's not possible.
So CRA account, unfortunately, what can happen is that you can take a screenshot of your contribution room as per the CRA online account. Now, if you contribute to the entire amount, and if CRA finds that you have over contributed, they will send you a sweet letter saying that you have to withdraw the extra contribution within a very short window. Beyond that, they will be charging you 1% penalty per year, per month of over contribution. So what you can do is that if you are doubtful about the numbers and you have already contributed, please make sure to keep a screenshot of it so that at least you can fight with CRA saying that
this is what was showing up on my online account, so that at least they can give you a bigger window or waive off your penalty. It seems like from the numbers you're giving, your information on the CRA online account seems like it's an incorrect number.
Tax consultant and my financial advisor, they said there are a couple of instances where this has happened. So yeah, those numbers are not right. And Jyotida, I think another good point for you to elaborate would be, when we pull out money from TFSA account, right? So in the next year, the whatever amount we have withdrawn, the room increases. So maybe if you can elaborate that, it would be helpful for others.
The room is not increases if you take out your growth only. That's the first point. If you taken out your main thing, the one you put that investment money, that only, then you have to wait for the next calendar year to come back. Then they will add it up definitely, but on only that portion. But you cannot jump it on, suppose you taken out on March and you cannot put it back on September or October. You have to wait until that year to be ended. You have to put it on next year, January.
I beg to differ. How it works is that you put in $6,000 in year one of your contribution. $6,000 put into a stock, and you're extremely lucky. Now the $6,000 became $18,000.
Right.
On the very first year. Second year, you contributed another 6,000, which is your limit. That $6,000, let's say, becomes a loss, and now it is 3,000. So the first 6,000 hypothetically is still 18,000, and your second year, 3,000 is the net value, though you have contributed 6,000. You cannot put any money in the second year if you have withdrawn any part of that 18,000 plus the 3,000. Right. Third year, your contribution room, if assuming that $6,000 remains the contribution room for the third year, you can actually contribute back the entire 18 plus 3,000 plus the 6,000. So you do not lose out on the growth. That's the beauty of TFSA, that if your investments are doing good, you are actually increasing your contribution room. Your contribution room technically is still the same 6,000, but the amount of withdrawal that you have pulled out with the growth can be reinvested back. So your individual contribution room would be different than your husband's if both of your investments have performed differently. So that could be one of the reasons maybe where your room is showing slightly higher. Yes, thank you for bringing this point. Could be a possibility.
Glad to hear that our Jonathan are aware about that. That's the point that I told about unlimited TFSA.
So say, for example, hypothetically, 75,000 is the overall lifetime limit for TFSA, right? So if my account grows and it doubles, so it's now $150,000, and next year if I withdraw $150,000, so the year after it, my room for contribution will be $150,000, right?
Plus that year's new contribution room.
That's a complex mathematics. It's not as simple as that one, but the basics is that.
So that's exactly the reason why it is better to go back into your CRA online account to see what is your exact contribution room. But remember one thing, CRA online account shows you a contribution room on 1st of January of that year. It doesn't factor in your ongoing contributions, profit and loss. So that number only holds true if you're looking into and you have not contributed anything during that financial year. Whatever is the number on the 1st of January showing up on your CRA account is that's the number. You have to factor in, do the manual calculations for all contributions that you have done, withdrawal of the money before you recontribute or plan to maximize your TFSA room. TFSA is, unfortunate thing is that TFSA seems very simple, very good investment option if you're looking for a long-term investment. The problem starts when you do withdrawal from TFSA and try to recontribute, because unknowingly you might attract penalty.
Yeah. And another thing always to keep in mind, we might have multiple TFSA or RRSP accounts, and it's absolutely fine to have multiple accounts, but you shouldn't think that per account is what your room is.
It's coming all under your SIN number.
Yeah.
These are register plan, so all register plan is with your SIN number. So if you open the different bank or different financial institution, doesn't matter, it collaborate together.
Okay, just time check that we have 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any more questions? Okay, I have one question. So most of the things that we discussed are for citizens or PR holders, but what about international students who are here on study permit? What are good avenues for investing for them?
As far as they have a valid SIN number, we can work on that one. There is something, but not RRSP, not TFSA directly. But there are other options that we can do, and we can grow their money too, definitely.
For international student work permit, same thing as I said to Shilpi, I believe, is that please wait for your first year of entry in Canada. Don't start doing any experimentation with your investment. Wait for first year of income tax filing, irrespective of the fact whether you have paid taxes, you have not paid taxes. If you are an adult age 18, you have to file your income tax in Canada. So let's say as a student, you arrive Canada, you have worked and you have had some kind of part-time income. File your taxes. Once you have filed your taxes, make sure to open up your online CRA account. Go and check. You would definitely be able to start investing in TFSA. Second, if you have investment, if you have income, employment income to be more specific, you are eligible for RRSP, not the year of earning, but the year after.
Okay.
So from the second year of your landing, irrespective of the fact what's your residency status, as Jyotida said, that you need a social insurance number. Without a SIN number, you cannot invest into anything, which is called tax sheltered investment. Registered investments are called tax sheltered investment. ওখানে যা টাকা জমা করবে তার উপর either তোমাকে কন্ট্রিবিউশনের উপর ট্যাক্স রিফান্ড হয়, which is RRSP, অথবা the money that goes within the investment grows tax free if it is a tax free savings account. So technically you can invest as long as you have a SIN and you're a resident of Canada, may not be a permanent resident, may not be a citizen of Canada, but make sure to start your contribution only on the second year of your entry. Once again, the definition of year is January till December, not calendar 1 year.
Okay.
There's one question, Indro, in the chat. RRSP or TFSA, konta better?
It's depend on what you are doing. That's something agei bollam je what's the purpose of the investment. That's the first things. If you want to save taxes, obviously people wants to go for RRSP. And
I mean,
if it's not for that, only just to grow your money, then definitely TFSA, because that's a tax free.
I would like to add one more point on that. So
Definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a thing, right? So why, I mean, whether you should choose an RRSP or a TFSA, basically you think about the future. You have to think about the future, right? So when you are talking about RRSP, if your earnings are low, right? Let's say 25 to 30,000, then if you are investing, then so think like this. So when the time you're investing, you are saving tax. So you are in a low tax bracket and you are getting a less tax money. Whereas at the end of your during your retirement, you will be in a higher tax bracket. So then you have to pay the tax on that if you are withdrawing the money. So if I mean it's my thinking, if you are earning within 25 to 30,000 or 35,000, don't invest in RSP because you'll not get much. So invest in TFSA. If you are having more income, then go for RSP because you can see the money over there, and at the end of your during your retirement time, you'll not charge with the tax more. So that way you'll save money.
Yeah,
and
I told that you can only take $15,000 a year without tax. If you're taking out more than that, you have to put taxes on that.
Yeah, you have to plan it accordingly, like
you have to plan
how much money you're gonna have. So you have to plan
because after retirement, that money goes to locked in the account.
Is it 65, 70 or 65?
Is 71. It's 71.
Best.
No, I have one more question. Like many of us here, so অনেকজন যেমনি work permit আছে বা PR আছে, but they have not decided kind of okay whether like because RRSP is very long term investment. So what happens say 15-20 years down the line, before you reach 70, you think of moving out of Canada, say to US or any other country, or back to India, then how things change. Just because RRSP is a very long-term investment. So just a thought.
Urijit, are you asking this question for yourself?
Yes.
Are you on a work permit right now?
No, I'm on a PR, but
so if you move to outside of Canada, would you be surrendering your Canadian residency altogether? Means, are you planning to surrender your PR status?
I think yes, I will take that option.
Okay, so first and foremost, these are very technical questions.
Okay, I will reach out to you then separately.
No, don't reach out to me. I'm going to guide you what needs to be done. First and foremost, you need to speak with CRA specific to your case. Okay.
Okay.
As per my knowledge, is that yes, if you are planning to move permanently outside of the country, you are allowed to withdraw entire money from the RRSP. The question is that will it be a non-taxable withdrawal is something which is doubtful. So it all depends. Hence, I'm referring you. When the situation arises, it's better to contact CRA, or for your peace of mind, before you start contributing to RRSP, you can always go back and contact CRA and ask, this is my future plan. What if I move out of the country? What happens to the contributions I have already made and has grown? The entire withdrawal, will I have to pay taxes on the entire portion of the money? Will it be considered as my income for that year in the Canadian tax parameters?
Okay, so whatever I read for this, that I will have to pay 30% tax. So
yeah, so that's I believe it's like lump sum of 30% withholding tax.
Yeah, 30% withholding tax. So if I pay
now there is more to this. So there are two types of RRSP. একটা locked-in RRSP হয় যেটাতে আগে প্রথম যিনি স্পিকার ছিলেন উনি বলছিলেন এমপ্লয়ার কন্ট্রিবিউট করে, ঠিক আছে? So employer যদি contribute করে তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে that becomes a locked-in. I believe the locked-in RRSP allows you to withdraw money fully non-taxable as long as you are proving in front of CRA that you are permanently relocating outside of Canada. For anything which is RRSP related, I would still suggest you confirm with CRA specific to your scenario. 30% withholding taxes both the individual RRSP te rakhbe.
Okay.
And there is a suggestion that I heard from my tax consultant last year is, RRSP, you will only be taxed if you're withdrawing amount or money from your RRSP account. And again, it will be dependent on the taxable bracket. Like if you're already earning 100,000 and if you're withdrawing 30,000 from your RRSP account, your taxable income is now 130,000. But what if in this scenario, like Arijit, if you want to move back and you're not earning in that year, like you have zero earning, but you're withdrawing 30,000 from your RRSP account, your taxable income will only be $30,000. So Jyotida, correct me if something is amiss here, but this is my understanding.
I think the meeting is going to close in 1 minute. So I think we'll have to either, Jyotida, just take a short.
Will be, please contact with me. এটা এই 1 মিনিটের মধ্যে আমি বলতে পারবো না, তোমার সঙ্গে বসে বলতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? প্লিজ কন্টাক্ট উইথ মি, ডেফিনেটলি তোমার কোশ্চেনের উত্তর দেব।
ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
আজকের জন্য সবাইকে গুড নাইট। যার যা কোশ্চেন থাকবে নিশ্চয়ই আই এম অ্যাভেলেবল সবার কোশ্চেনের উত্তর দেওয়ার জন্য।
থ্যাংক ইউ, গুড নাইট।
Thank you.
Thank you all for
attending
this.
Good night.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.